All right, and we're back. Yes, and welcome back. This is our continuance. We took a short recess. We called it continuance, but actually, when I went to the chambers, when the magistrate chambers, I actually reached out to Mr. Burke. So we're back, and if you're just tuning in, this is the Chaplain's Court online video affidavit session, intake session that is for dated so-called July 16th, 2025 CE. And I am the magistrate Mahdi Sufi Il, and I'm here as the chaplain of your choice for all your family court needs. And our actual interfaith court has expanded over the last 2 or 3 years since the pandemic in order to service believers and parishioners with other aspects of their life activity that also could be related to or impacting their family home life. All right. If you don't know, we created this chaplain's court, as we call it. It's the International Interfaith Court in 2013 CE. And we started April 4th, 2013 CE. And we started operating out of the largest courthouse in Philadelphia, the Criminal Justice Center, 1301 Filbert Street, for 2 years straight in on October 26th, 2013 CE. And so this is the ecclesiastical and theocratic court system. And as you have a right to your religious freedoms, meaning you have, the freedom to practice your religion, but also if you are a believer in Christ, if you're a believer in any one of the prophets, and you have a prophet in the holy book, then you have a RITE as well. You have rights. And those rights are different from your RIGHTS rights because those rights are obligations. All right. And as you well know, being baptized may be an obligation. That's a right, RITE. Your religious rights when you're going through the motions. Your marriage is a right. All right. But first, I'd like to take a reading once again from our Holy Bible in the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 22. And it through 25, and it reads heavenly: a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. Right? An unplowed field produces food for the poor, but injustice sweeps it away. And 2024, whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the ones who love their children is careful to discipline them. And 25, the righteous eat to their heart's content, but the stomach of the wicked grows hungry. All right. And we'll go back to 22. That's Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. I mean, amen. So if you don't know, I am the magistrate chaplain Mahdi Sufi Il and the founder of the International Interfaith Court, where we affectionately refer to as the Chaplain's Court, because you get the chaplain of your choice who is legally allowed to serve as your magistrate for all these types of affairs that are impacting your family. And so we honor all of you who have tuned in, and we honor all the heavenly hosts: Michael, the archangel, Michael, Gabriel, the archangel, and all the archangels that surround the Kursi, the throne of Almighty God, who give us protection and who have given us the mercy and the grace and providence to do these jobs. And verse 22 and 13, just so we go into it briefly, is such a deep verse, as you may know, saints, because a lot of modern so-called Americans are very stressed out by watching celebrities and people who are committed in habitual evildoers they get amass all this wealth, and it sometimes make you depressed and you feel down and out because you know you're being persecuted for Christ's sake, and you're just having a slow road because you're in the world but not of the world. So this is a great reminder, saints. Proverbs 13 verse 22: a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. So God, Almighty God, is allowing them to get that money. They are storing it up for the righteous. It's stored up for the righteous. So wait on it. Wait for it. You know. And so today, we're having one of our newest constituents. We're doing an intake session for whom has apparently been the target of unlawful zoning agency. So we're going to find out a little bit about what's going on so that we can aid and assist them and advocate for them. Honors to Mark Ballard, our newest angel advocate down there in the Eastern Shore area, as we, you know, give him props and honors as he's assisting those families down there. And we do angel advocates because we don't do devil's advocates here, saints. No, we don't do devil's advocates and lawyers and all that. They devil's advocate. So these angel advocates we give honors to. And when you become a chaplain at our interfaith court, or if you were to become a magistrate judge, you start off by being an advocate, a family advocate, or an angel advocate. And we give honors to our chief advocate, Dr. Poetica Bay, in the Philadelphia Interfaith Court. And also, she's the founder of CRS Child Rescue Service. We give honors to our clerk of the court in previous years, Sister Taisha Lightfoot Bay. We give honors to Shawman Aziz and the Sharif's department with our Sharif of the Philadelphia Interfaith Court, Sharif Musin Bynum Bay, Brother Noble Prosser Eel, our resident expert and law counsel. And we give honors to Sister Judy Pinkney Eel, a new chaplain for the Hebrew Israelite nation. And also we give honors to Prince Bishop Alfred L. Phillips from Anointed by God Seminary out in Brooklyn. Him and Rev Kev and giving out food. Graduate a whole host of Christian chaplains, and they have their own high school. They graduate all kind of high schoolers every 6 months. And so we give honors to Prince Bishop Alfred L. Phillips. We are doing these online intake sessions as I am not able to physically go to every territory. And so we are keeping up with the Gentile court system, who has been doing their Zoom court sessions since the pandemic and has been in effect. As you know, they had court for not even a whole year. But when they went back to court, they did Zoom court for a year. And so a portion of their court services are still remote if you're going to even to a criminal case, saints. So we have to keep up with that. So we're doing our online court sessions. And Mark Ballard says, peace and blessings to you and yours. Salute to you, Brother Mark. And we'd like to give honors where honors is due to all of you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is our intake session. We're going to bring in our newest constituent here to give us a little bit of background about what's going on down there in that territory. Do we have Brother Lonnie Burke? Are you there, Mr. Brother Burke?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, thank you. We had some technical difficulties. Praise be to God, because it ain't stopped nothing, and I got on there with you, and so we just took a quick recess instead of trying to do it another day. I'm so happy. Yeah.
I'm glad that we got through. I really am.
Say it again.
I'm glad that we got through to where I can. I need you all to help me. And God, I haven't done anything, sir. and that's why I need the help.
Oh, I see. So, um, tell us your full name for the record and your birth date.
My name is Lonnie F. Burkes. My date of birth is September the 22nd, 1941. My living address at this time would be 14129 Backbone Road, Eden, Maryland. And I took care of my mother there up until she passed. Mom passed in 1922. In 2022. 2020. What am I talking about?
2022.
I'm sorry. But ever since her passing, I've been in nothing but it seemed like everything. Everybody's trying to take the things that her and I talked about doing with where I am. It seemed like either my son or the planning, zoning in Princess Anne, Maryland, they become totally unaware that I'm still a man, and it's like they talk to me like I'm some kind of a kid or something, and I can't stand that. I was never brought up like that, and I basically need someone to find out what it is they're doing because they seem like they're trying to really take most of the people, color people that lives in this area. They're trying to take all whatever they have. And that's what it seems like to me. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit that.
Well, I would really believe what you're saying because how long have you been domiciling in that territory?
Mom, I took care of my mom. I stayed with my mom. We've been in this area for over 40 years. My parents brought me to this area when I was 9. And after some, cruelty between my mother and my father, I ended up just, wanting to protect my mother. And I did up until she died. But it's now, I gave her the property, and now they're trying to act like my name never been on it, and I don't know how my son name got. I'm really, it's kind of hard for me to understand what's going on.
Oh, okay, okay. So take me back to when you first realized that you were having a legal problem with them. Was it due to this immediate incident, or did you
It
have any
was,
prior incidents recently?
well, they did the same thing to me last year. I had uh, uh, was registering with the state because I'm a carpenter by trade. And I wanted to start doing private fences for people that, it's one way that you do to keep the, I don't know what do you call them, supposedly government workers around in the area. But yeah, if you'd have to be around and see it, to see that they're not doing anything, all they're trying to do is take what you got. And I'm go back to after the grandma died.
Well, before you go on, just you're doing well, but pause, and I'll do a little, as far as briefing, but
Mhm.
just take a second and click on the picture with your face and push the edit button and edit that name because as far as this is a video affidavit. So unless your Marcus B, we don't, this is totally not per se acceptable. So just take a pause and edit and put your full name in there so that way this can be for the record because um maybe your middle name is Lonnie and your first name is Marcus, but we'll give you a moment to do so and then we'll let you continue that. And if you just tuned in, this is our video affidavit intake session um for Mr. Burke, whom has been a long time inhabitant over 40 years in the Eastern Shore territory down there in Maryland Corporation. And so we are advocating for him and seeking to hear if we can take his case on and also what strategies we will be utilizing. And if you have any similar needs in your territory, please inbox us as we have fabulous advocates like Brother Mark Ballard on the line, um, but from other various territories. We have plenty of chaplains that are from every house of worship, from the Baptist to the non-denominational, Pentecostal, all the way down to the Rastafarians. Okay, so we look forward to serving you and being able to get you to worship under your own vine and fig tree, because you have a religious right to have your problem solved according to your scripture and according to your belief system if you don't know. And so we'll bring him back to the stage, um, and say, let's see, Mr. Mr. Burke. Okay, go ahead, continue, and give us give us, because I had remembered that you spoke about they right before this happened, they gave you problems about a pet or something. Is that accurate?
Yes,
What
it
how
did.
tell me a little bit about
Yes,
that.
that's basically seemed like where I started because um they, I had my yeah, what yeah. Yes, my grandmother really, but got cheated. My mother, hold on, why am I? My son's sitting here next to me, and
What
he's
happens
trying to
is
make sure
take a
Dad.
moment. But
Yes,
listen, Mr. Burke, take a moment. If you have someone that can witness, and even if they're don't want to show their face, let them use another device and click the same link and jump in so we can put their square on the phone,
that would
and then
help
they
me
can
because I
we
have
can
dealt
hear
with
them,
so much.
and then they can help you assist you with that, because that is a
Yeah.
great assistance. Okay, so take a few
Okay.
minutes and text each other the
Okay.
link. And great, give me
He's,
1 second. All right,
he's doing
so
it right
just
now.
so you know, um, we have elders, and we have elder abuse that is ramping up, and there are different agencies that take advantage of elders, and actually, you know, what we call legacy homeowners. And so these are vulnerable persons, and it's federally illegal with the Vulnerable Persons Act and all kinds of laws that are applicable within the Gentile system that we will have to possibly invoke as they seemingly ramp up their targeting of uh, people like Mr. Burt. And so we're very thankful that he reached out to us, because a lot of times people find out about our advocacy and our chaplain's court, they find out after the fact. So we're striving to get the word out through our advocates and through our officers, so that other members can join in advance. So or whenever they find out they have a problem, they can quickly reach out to us so that we can get their autograph and their signature, so to speak, on file, so that they're officially a member of the chaplaincy. And that way, their Gentile court system and the agencies that they weaponize against us, they're not able to bar us from helping you. All right. So we want you to, email us or get a print form from one of our chaplains, and you could definitely email us at interfaithcourt@gmail.com. And that's interfaith interfaithcourt@gmail.com. And so we're happy Mr. Burks is on. And so we're just awaiting for his witness to jump on as well on another device to give us little feedback, so that we can intake his storyline. But for what I'm gathering, there was a previous situation to the one now, and you said that it seemed like, Mr. Burke, it started with this pet situation. And if you could just be clear and concise just about that, so we can move forward, and that would be a great thing.
Yes, they. I'm had my dog. Well, Fenix was a puppy, and after mom started getting sick, I brought my RV and part and brought my dog. He was a puppy then, and he became very, very great dog, not sick or anything. And when it happened one Sunday, this just happened last year, wasn't it, Mark? I'm make sure. I want to make sure. And I went to church with my neighbor on a Sunday, and when we come from church, and they didn't see my dog, and they said, Lonnie, where's your dog? I said, he's over there on the by the pen where I leave him when I leave, because I didn't want him running all around the place. And I looked and he wasn't there. And what had happened, someone had taken the cable, steel cable off of him, small cable, something he couldn't break, and took the collar and all off of him and put his tags and everything stretched the cable out and put them at the end of it. And I said, well, y'all look at this and see what's going on. And they had my dog. And so I was not supposed to be driving, and I knew that, but I knew that my dog was not that type of dog. And when I found out anything, they had carried my dog. This person that come in my yard took my dog and carried him to this little town here in this Somerset County. And when I went there, they had a cop follow me, stop me, and started charging me fines. I said, I'm really, I know I'm not supposed to be driving, but my dog is down there. And he told me, well, I know that, but I don't care. And I said, okay, so what? And then he called, like they do, they call a tow truck. And I asked the guy when he came, I said, can you I'm not that far from my house. I said, can you just pay it there and I'll pay you? And I did that. And these people, I don't understand them. I had to go wait a couple of weeks, went, paid them almost $600. And when I come home from church, they had taken my dog. I didn't even keep my dog 2 days. And I don't understand why that started. And after that thing started building, they started watching me like I was, I don't know what I'm supposed to be, but I was being watched like a big time criminal. And I was trying to start, as I said, a fence building company with the state, Eden RV Repair and Fence Building. And after that, after I went to release my dog, they put me in jail for 3 months. And I had applied for the permit for the shed that was on the property. And then before they put me in jail for 3 months, they took my dog. And they
So they
never
took your
reset it
dog
to me.
and then
Yes,
put you in
I
jail at
don't
the same
understand
time.
that. I don't understand why they did that. There was nothing
What was
wrong with
it?
my dog.
Was it what was there? Did you go to court for it after that, or how did that
Yes,
go?
I got papers and everything for it. And they
No, I'm
kept
saying,
writing
what was their
fines and
so-called charge? Was it neglect? What was their charge?
everything. Sir, I don't know. They claimed my dog was this and that. What everybody in the block told these um, dog control that my dog was the best dog around there. That my dog didn't do all that crap. But that's how everything started. And I found a pair of gloves, and I still have my dog tag. Everything that concerned my dog, I still have that. It just happened last year.
Well,
After
let me
that,
ask you.
all this other stuff come up.
Let me ask you. So there's some kind of neglect they charged you for, and they kept you for 3 months. But was that a zoning police officer or a regular police officer? How did that
It
work?
was a sheriff. They call them sheriffs. They don't call them police officer. But
So the
this
county's small
guy,
enough they have the sheriff. It was the sheriff's office. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Were you on the same property in question at the time?
I've been on that property. Oh wow, ever since. Um, oh wow. Ooh,
I
I've
mean,
been on
you
that
said you've
property.
been there for quite a
Well,
while, but
I was on the topic. Well, you know, this all these things just happened after my mother died. So we've been on that topic way over 40 years, or close to 50 years.
So this
And
is
I don't
considered
understand.
your family estate.
Yes, that's what my mother and I was trying to leave it for. That's what she wanted me to do. Why I got into with the RVs, you know, to fix them up so that when part of the family didn't have a place to stay, if I had one or two there, they could live in that until they got on their feet. But
Right, I
was
can
something,
understand.
but
Yeah,
something
go ahead.
got into that, and they started charging me money, and these people have made me, sir. I'm not crying. What I'm saying, they have basically just broken me. I don't have any money at all.
What is the name of that neighborhood, by the way?
It's Eden. That's all it says. Eden, Maryland, and
How you spell it?
Eden.
Oh, okay. Eden, Maryland.
Eden, Maryland. It was predominantly black when I got here, and they put you have to have the whole thing to see what they're doing. By me being a carpenter and dealing with other contractors, and when they put this bypass to come into here, it bypass Salisbury, and it enters right here. Oh, about what it was a quarter mile from our turn spot, and they have been businesses coming not all at once, but sporadically, pertaining to this area being turned into like a rest stop because hardly any of this traffic, comes through Salisbury anymore. And so, this land is trying to take our land. I swear to you, that's what they're trying to do.
Now, if the zoning office, Somerset County zoning office at 11,916 Somerset Avenue, Prince Anne, Maryland,
Yes, it is.
21853,
Yes,
that's
it
them.
is. Planning and
Okay.
zoning.
Well, listen up, Saints. Their number is 410-651-1424. Again, Saints out there, their number is 410-651-1424. And we're striving to build up our first responders unit, by the way, just so you know, with Brother Mark Ballard and others in Philadelphia as well.
Mhm.
We have our first responders called the Boondock Saints, and we like the movie, and we train them up so that way when these things happen, they can come in and be right there in court with you. They could be right there, boots on the ground. So
Mhm.
yeah, we wanted them to know the number that they in the office at 11,916 Somerset Avenue in Princess Anne, Maryland, 21853 for the record. And so what what I was imagining such. So I was trying to put it together because there's been a big history of highways built on so-called, is would you consider this African American or black community of sorts?
It was predominantly black when I came here as a young boy. My parents, I don't know how they found this area, but it's right next to the main thoroughfare. There's always have not been no more than one store, and well, there was two, but it was years ago. Two stores here, as I can recall, and they have always, you know, we work here and we have to pay our taxes. We have to pay government taxes. We have to pay state taxes, whatever. And
Yeah.
no one, nothing. They don't fix our roads or nothing. It's
So I
just
was
like,
suspecting because I was going to ask you that, but you told it to me anyway because I was saying,
mhm,
is it gentrification? Because a lot of these communities that we have been in 40, 50, 100 years or so, people think it's just Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma being destroyed, but there are hundreds of communities across the country, and it
yes,
seems
it
like
is.
I'm reading from the history book where it says that the construction of highways, particularly the interstate highway system, had disproportionate and often devastating impact on so-called Black communities in the United States of
Yes, it
America.
does.
This involved the displacement of residents, the destruction of vibrant neighborhoods, and the exacerbation of existing racial and economic equalities, that already existed. And here's a
You are
more
so
detailed
right.
look. Deliberate targeting. Are you saying? Just one moment. Deliberate targeting. Um, Highways were frequently routed through predominantly so-called Black neighborhoods, often utilizing existing racial zoning boundaries, right? Or even
Right.
displacing thriving communities to enhance white commuting routes and tax revenue streams. Is there somebody else there? Because I need to be able to, y'all, nobody can speak when I'm speaking this stuff because it's very important. This is your video affidavit. So
Well, you,
please
my son is sitting right here.
no,
I
no,
got
no.
my,
Just hold your comments whenever I'm
okay.
reading these technical things because it's very important because this will work for you if it's clear and if it's legible. And that means that when I take your words and I run into the system and I print them out, it doesn't need to be it'll take forever for me to edit them and there's all kind of noise. So just know this is very important to your case because I was somewhat detecting that something like this that you were saying. And so displacement and disruption, it seems that you're dealing with the the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, which launched the interstate highway system, led to the displacement of thousands of so-called Black families, often with little or no compensation or alternative housing, right? Examples include the destruction of Fifth Ward in Syracuse, New York, and the decimation of Overtown, a vibrant cultural center in Miami, to make way for I-91 and I-95 respectively. The displacement results in the loss of homes, businesses, and social networks, disrupting established communities and creating lasting challenges. Wow. So I really want to just give you honors for surviving this along with this, like really, because this has been an epidemic that's been going on that for so long. And I was just maybe imagining that they were gentrifying the area because they want more properties. But it's even worse than that. You're saying that they actually building a highway, which actually they built it, and the exit is right there in the middle.
Right where it could have, any traffic coming through, e- Eden is supposed to prosper, and they're cutting that out. They're trying to make sure that they get all of our properties. And I've been doing my best to try to tell people we need to get together and let someone know what's going on because those people just put me outdoors on my property 2 weeks ago. They
They
left
put you outdoors.
nothing. They left
So
nothing
tell
for
me a
me.
little bit about what you had built, or how did they put you out? What happened during that ordeal?
Because the shed that I bought was buying was trying. I'm trying to make something for my grandkids and my great grandkids, whatever my kids is left, my sons I've got, and that was what my mother wanted, the property to stay in the family. And I don't know how these people got my other son's name on the property, and it seems like he's trying to be yes man. I'm quite sure you know what I mean by that because and I sense that if I just go away from the property, he'll try to sell it. And I don't know how his name got on the property. I have no idea. I was notified of anything. These letters to come and tear everything down on my property was handed to me 3 weeks ago. And I'm supposed to have moved all of my things off the property. And I have nothing.
What did you
Nothing.
place onto the property, and what was their response of the zoning commission?
The zoning commission, when I went to them for the permit to put a shelf on the property, shelf shed on the property to turn it into you can have an office and a spot in it to actually be able to relax because I'm not looking to build no $300,000 home or something like that because of my age. I wanted to make something so that the kids could have something, and we always wanted them to have a place to go. And now these people, I don't know what they're doing. I
Wow.
have
So
no idea.
it looks like it seems it seems as if they're doing the age old tactic that you described. It seems as if they have built a highway and they put an exit right into your town, and now they got brand Nubians, so to speak, and now they want new people to take that lands that from long time legacy homeowners. So you meant to
Mhm.
put a shed on there and to be a dual usage to stay in, but also a work shed that can also stay into to over time. And how large is the property that you're on, by the way?
It's one eighth of being an acre.
So all right, so almost an acre. And just so you know, they have the Somerset County State Attorney General's office handles legal matters within Somerset County. Um, Often we may have to reach out to their supervisory agencies to get some kind of service and to get them to you know, reverse things and estoppel things dead on. So that number is 410-651-0430. All right. Again, the state attorney's office for some, they have a local office in that county. Is area code 410-651-0431. The attorney general's main office, though, where Saints, we all got to call up all our advocates. If you're on this particular case, we were just giving you a little bit of resources so you don't have to look for it. Brother Mark, it's Maryland Attorney General. Their main office phone number is 410-576-6300. Again, that's 410-576-6300. Also, Mr. Burks, we on another call that is not a part of this court training, we on this court intake, we will aid and assist you with any other families so that you can say what you like, y'all can make a unified claim. We're going to seek to advocate for you for your individual claim, but if you know anybody having similar being targeted on that in that village in your neck of the woods, so to speak, it would behoove you, like you said, to put it together. That way, at least you have 2 3 claims, and this is a typical thing, so it's not like something they can run from. And it seems as if they're with their age old tactics of intimidation and trying to run people off the land. And
Yes,
you're on an acre of land.
that's what they're trying to do.
You're on a whole
Yeah.
acre. You're almost an acre of land. So the property is not in your name; it's in your son's name. You said he's kind of acting a little,
Yeah, I
questionable.
can't figure out. I can't figure out what his, what his action is concerning this because they will call when I would go there. They tell me, "Oh, your son says he ain't got nothing to do with the property." If that's the case, eh, if I had a fine to pay and I did not put the building there, why won't they let me pay a fine? They're telling me now that they don't want me to pay no taxes. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
And
just
they,
so you know, I wanted to ask you, because they have what is called deed fraud. Okay. All right. So what happens
uh
is this is still something that is manageable, just so you know. This will be a part of my ruling as well today. Though uh, you will have to decide whether you're willing to make that report, because it happens and there's an uptick of it, and it's also partnered with elder abuse because you're an elder. So not only is it a deed fraud, but it's done to a vulnerable person such as yourself, who may not be up on all the technology and all this stuff that slicksters utilize to expedite their criminal activity. So
Mhm.
just know. in the Maryland.gov, and they have that department, which I'll reach out for you on your behalf as well, because it might not be mortgage fraud because they might have not taken out a loan, but that is sometimes typical, and they try to hide it until the person's no longer around a lot of times, and that way they don't have anybody to bring a recourse of their actions. So just know, with your permission and everything, we will reach out to them, and this can be undone, and we can place the deed into your name, most likely, depending on the protocols and laws of that corporate jurisdiction. But in general, you're the next of kin, I gather.
I'm the oldest in the whole family, which is quite large, and that is my first cousin and my son.
No, he means next of kin to you.
Oh, my
So
mom?
yes, meaning that the previous owner was your mother.
Yes, that's who it's supposed to have been. So that's who I gave it to.
No, the previous owner before your son.
My mother?
Okay. So your mother passed away a few years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Are you the next of kin in line, or is it another
I,
older child?
I am the only child of my
Oh,
mother.
even better. So you're the only child.
Yes.
All right. So in the lack of the actual, you know, presence of a family trust or some kind of express will that states that somehow you get skipped, the next of kin would be you, and so the state is obliged to, honor your claim. By the way,
Well, the state has, they made me executor, and because my mother, I went through all that. She had no will, and I'm wondering how could he go above me? And as being my mother, I'm taking care of my mother, and there's things that they did that I'm being told about that is not right.
well, 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 if the person wants to speak, please let them speak on the line.
Yeah, please, because I have to.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to hear you. I
Can you
see
hear me
another
now?
person, Marcus B.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
me.
Okay, you might need to sit 5 or 10 feet away so there's no echo.
Okay.
And go ahead and continue. I'll wait. While he's doing that, I'll say that you said you don't know how he did it, but this is my question. Your name is Lonnie F. Burkes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's an echo, so the person may have to go in another room
Yeah.
because they can hear us and
Can
they
you hear
can
me
jump
now?
in whenever they
Okay.
like.
Well, you can hear.
Yeah, I need to be a little quick because I have my grandson here, and he needs some attention. I got to change him and everything. So
Okay, what's your name for the
basically, the main
record?
thing I wanted to intervene is
What's your name for the
my
record?
grandmother was
Excuse
duped
me. What's
by
your
a
name for the
real estate
record?
person. Huh?
What is your name for the record? And then start over.
Marcus Burkes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, my grandmother, uh, Miss Barrett Burkes. Barry was a new married name. Virginia is her first name. She was duped by a real estate
Too
investor
much
here.
echo. I can't hear you.
Turn that volume down on my phone. Turn that volume down.
Okay. I don't mind.
Or you don't have to. We can hear you. You go into another room or even on a porch.
Yeah, I'm in
It's
another
just
room.
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, my grandmother was duped, and the guy had promised her a house. And what had happened is when we found out, they found out what had happened and that he had taken her land. They was able to get a quick claim deed and get his name off of it, but they set up a trust for her. and my stepbrother and my father's cousin were supposed to be the trustees. Some kind of way, the land didn't get put into the name of the trust. It got put into the name of the trustees. Now, in the course of all this happening, my grandmother called me down here the year before COVID to ask me to come down here. She said that I have a place for you to stay. Don't worry. I have land. I'm not there. I'm staying with my son, my grandson. And so we came down here, me and my family, only to find out that there was a feud going on where my brother was pulling all this stuff. He hadn't made any payments on the mobile home that was there. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home that was on the property initially. He had stopped payments on that, but yet he was still accessing her funds and accessing her bank accounts as the trustee, but not making payments like he was supposed to as the trustee. So when I found out that the house was going into foreclosure and they were going to take the mobile home, I contacted the mortgage company. They were instructed by my, I want to say air quotes brother, that they weren't supposed to accept payments from us. And that's how the actual mobile home got snatched off the property prior to my grandmother passing away. When my grandmother passed away, this is when they went into full force in trying to expedite my father being removed off the property, where they stopped paying on the taxes. And so he continued to pay the taxes for the next few years and paid the arrears that was owed. They came out. If you look at a Zillow picture of the property, you can see an RV there that I was staying in after my grandmother had passed. I was there with my father, and he was helping out a couple other people that were staying there. And the county came in and said that he was running an illegal trailer park and had us all removed. They towed me out, took me away, put me in jail for 30 days, and dropped all the charges, no process. So they knew they didn't have nothing.
Right.
While I was there, my daughter ended up having to go into a shelter. My son had to go live with somebody from the church. And when I got out, they let me have my motorhome back out of the impound without charging me. But they made me sign a letter saying that I wouldn't go after them. Now, I know the law, so I knew that I couldn't proceed anything after them until at least a year, because they could still take those charges and put them before the grand jury and try to prosecute me to try to shut me up. So now that year has expired, and they've tried to go after my father now. So now they had, like he was explaining to you, had pulled him over when he was trying to figure out about his dog, took him to jail. And the course that he was in jail, the place that he had went to get the shed from is a 14 by 40 foot shed, had been trying to secure the permit to drop it off. They didn't know what was happening. So when he got out, the shed company came and dropped off the shed onto the property. And they said, if there's any issue, just let us know. They didn't think it would be a problem. If anything, typically in this situation, if you don't have a permit prior, you have to pay double the permit costs to alleviate any, fees or levies that are imposed on you. And that's usually just double the permit fee. In this case, they waited 6 months before addressing anything about his shed being there on the property. Now, mind you, there was other buildings, a cabin that he had built about 10 years prior, 15, 20 years prior, a screen room and stuff that had been on there. And an additional shed that was on the property for, if you combine everything, from 40 years at least, these existing structures. Now, when he got the first letter from them about the new shed that he had just had delivered, they said that he had to have it removed. So they sent a copy of that to the company. The company came out the day before. They said that they were going to come out there and remove it or destroy it themselves. And they took it off and told my father that he could put it wherever he needs to. Just give us a location. We don't want them to destroy it. They weren't even trying to charge him or anything for it, because they understood that this was a sticky situation. They come out the next day. They didn't come out the next day, so my father breathed a little sigh of relief. The day after that, they showed up with backhoes and stuff and started knocking down. Even though the shed that was the issue was gone, they started knocking down the pre-existing structures that had been there for years, actually decades. So they didn't even give him enough time to get everything out of them, because in the course of him rushing to meet their deadline, he had removed the things out of the one they said was the problem and put it into the older buildings that had been there for years and decades on end. They decide they're going to destroy those too. Not only did they destroy those, they had the electric company come out and said that there was arcing lines and that the power needed to be cut off, and they were trying to yank it from the pole. So that would have been incurring another $5,000 expense to have the electric, company come out and run it to your property again. So the other electric representative didn't feel comfortable doing that because he's known my father. Most of them have known him because they've been there for years. So that they did cut it, but they didn't strip it from the pole. They're telling him, he needs, that they'll, work in his behalf to try to get whatever needs to be straightened out. So now fast forward to today, he's worried, going back there daily to try to make sure nobody's trying to do anything else. There's still some items that are on the property. So, that's where we're at right now.
Wow. I really appreciate that, Brother Marcus, because that is like a whole nother thing. Then I'm so happy that you're here to say that, because that really paints a fuller picture.
Yeah. So
What
not only were they deficient in their duties as trustees, now they're exacting this whatever pent up animosity and hate they have towards my father and me. They didn't even know me. I wasn't raised around my brother or my father. I came here the first time and met everyone when I was 22 and came back right before 9/11, before COVID. So, 22 years difference, in times that they've met me, they have no reason to have any hurt feelings. I've never taken anything from any of them, never borrowed loans from any of them, never set up bills in their name like some family members have done and have caused grief and heart and discontent. They don't have this. There's no reason for them to go after him like that. And then to add one little spiciness to this, my grandmother told me before she passed away that my brother had her signing papers down in Virginia for him, and she believes that the house down there is in her name, or at least she co-signed for it or whatever that might have been. At the time, I didn't really hold a lot of weight to it because I knew there was a lot of, things going on. So I was hoping that wasn't the fact, but I don't really know in which ways to search and check to make sure that he didn't do something like that. That should actually be part of the estate. And that's why he's going after my father, to distract him so he doesn't really go after the bigger piece of the pie. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of not good.
Oh, okay. Well, let me jump in here because that's a lot, and I really needed you to say that. So I'm appreciating we got this. Like we got the technical aspects together because that's needed. What is the son? Your Marcus B and your Lonnie F. Burkes. What is the son's name that's on the record?
He's junior. He's a junior.
I'm just saying, say his name for the record.
Lonnie F. Jr. Lonnie F. Burkes Jr.
Mr.
Burkes Jr. Yeah.
There you go. So that may be a big area of why it was possible. Just so you know.
Yes.
Because you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm not going there yet. I'm dialing up the Stargate here for you. Okay, but I'm telling you, in general, I've seen this before when it's a junior, because they get to finagle and not put junior on their name conveniently.
Yes.
Marcus and then nobody else wouldn't be able to do it like that. Trust me.
That's what I said.
Because they thought it was my name You see what
my
I'm
time until
saying?
they looked at it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very easy. A lot of times you could be junior and then you turn 35 and you like, I don't even use junior no more because I got my own kids and grand.
Mm-hmm.
It could be it could be totally righteous and the person just not using junior no more.
Mm-hmm.
So the agency doesn't necessarily always know or catch on or got time to be doing no deep dives on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, Lonnie F. Burkes. Okay, cool. Boo boo. And then silly behind wear a mature suit and tie that day,
Yeah.
come in and dressed appropriately, let's say, right? And then they're like, huh, he don't look 80, but whatever. They're not even looking at your birthday. You know what I'm saying? So they schmooze it and they do like Atlanta, they call them finessers. You
Yes,
know,
that's what the cops were telling me.
he's a finesser. So what happens is the toll-free number is 877 fraud 11 is associated reporting fraud, waste, and abuse in relationship to government programs or funds specifically used by the Office of Legislative Audits. But let me go back. Hold up. Nope. Okay. To report suspicious deed fraud in Maryland, it's the same number, 877 fraud 11. I hate when they do that because now you got to look on your phone for the F button and all this stuff, but
You said
you know what I
877
mean.
fraud 11.
Yes. And you can also report it online. They have a link. Additionally, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, handles identity theft. It turned into identity theft just that quick. Okay. And
Okay.
handles identity theft reports and can be related to deed fraud. Remember I was talking about that deed fraud? So there's a little bit of identity theft going on there, and there's deed fraud. Ooh, wow. Jesus, take the wheel. Oh my God. So you can also report 877 FTC help. 877 FTC help. Don't mind
Okay.
me. This is the new case for me, so I don't have the numbers prepared, but you know what I mean. Like,
No, I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down.
yeah. Okay. 877 FTC, like Federal Trade Commission, FTC help. All right. So those two I'll advocate, and Mark and I will advocate and write a letter for you, but also, I'm actually guiding you and in counseling here to say that you should get on that because they're not going to take it easily or lightly, because third thing is elder abuse. So you got three things in there that he looks like he's guilty of, which is identity theft, elder abuse, and deed fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Identity theft, yep, all three. And so what happens is, wow, there's the circuit court in Maryland too. The clerk of the circuit court may also give you some guidance to open up a case at the local court. So the clerk of the circuit court is definitely instrumental in that as well. So that same name gang with the junior, wow, man, this is so bad, but this is really what I can smell in determining what is the reason why he's being so efficient.
Mm-hmm.
With
Definitely.
There's a lot of lies been going on about me.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me ask you too, because before we get off here, I need to ask you these things. Brother Marcus, with you doing that month in jail, and of course, they really did it to get you out the way. That's why they dropped all the charges, like you said, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 3 months went by. Did they drop your charges, Mr. Lonnie?
No, I sat there 3 months.
So that was like the term. The sentence was like a 3-month sentence.
They just carried me from the courthouse right to the jail.
Now, according to your estimation, think about the low end and think about the high end. But on the low end, this is not, we're not sticking you to this or holding you to this at all. But if you had to imagine on the low end and on the high end, what would you say was the amount of money that you lost, or even adding in pain and suffering, for your month in jail, Brother Marcus B. Burkes, Mr. Lonnie F. Burkes, you're 3 months in jail, right? And all the funds you lost from potential clients because you do carpentry and all this other stuff that I'm sure you've had to slow down as it's been debilitating to live a daily life and you can't, so, if you had to add up all your losses in business and personal life and jail time, what would be the low end that you would say that the person would owe you as a remedy? And what would be on the low end? What do you think that?
Well, I understand what you're saying.
Let's ask Marcus.
Yeah. I'm a carpenter. And I took care of my mother. I did for him, and I tried to do what I can for my other son. And what these people did to me, sir, I can't come up with a. There's no low end of what they've done to me. I'm outdoors for no reason.
Okay, so what would be a low end number that you say you suffered?
I should be paid for that.
Oh, we know that. That's what I'm saying. What's the low end amount?
The lowest amount I would take $1 million.
The low end amount would be $1 million. What about you, Brother Marcus?
Myself, because I still haven't gotten my RV. Because when they took it, they did things to it. They searched it, thought I was a drug dealer and stuff. They had disconnected my drive shaft. No, don't have no drug history here, no arrest here, nothing like that. They and then with my daughter having to go to the shelter with my grandson, and it's still having bill collectors call and still dealing with this and having to stay faithfully with my gracious ex-wife. Lord have mercy. I mean, be realistic. I don't think anything less than 150 even puts a dent in it. But quite frankly, like my
just
dad
give me a
said,
number. What's the low end? What's the low end on a number?
I think 150 is the low end. I think to be reasonable, 750, because there's not only me.
No. Say the full amount. $150.
750,000, I think.
Okay, start over. What is the low end?
The lowest, I think 150 is the low end. 150,000.
You're not saying the whole amount. 150 coconut shells.
No. Yeah. No, I'm just saying that not for him. No.
He said no. Mr. Lonnie F. Burkes said that his low end would be $1 million. I can understand that. So for you, what is your low end? You saying 150?
I look at it different for him because his time of life.
What?
And
$150,000?
No, 150,000 to 750. No, the reason why I'm saying for him is different because his time on earth is, he don't get to enjoy it the same way I will. So,
hold on.
I'm going to recoup.
Order, brother. Order. I'm not contesting you that. This is just for the record, and you're not being clear.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. This is not for me. I'm trying to help you. This is technically can help you. He said $1 million. When that gets typed out, people can understand. So now, again, what is the low end that you think that you be owed? Go ahead.
Yeah,
you said it. I just need you to say it.
Because it was a little better for me. For me, 150,000.
Change your answer.
Yeah.
Say it again.
For me, 150,000 on the bottom end is the minimum that ease some of the pain.
What?
$150,000 is the minimum.
Jesus. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Now you're talking correctly.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Most of our people suffer due to lack of knowledge and due to we refuse to communicate the way that they, it ain't no right and wrong in it, but we're refusing to communicate in a way that they can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because so saying 150 is vague. Yeah,
I don't know what in the world you're talking about because I'm like 150. I'm about to send you 150 water bottles.
Yeah, understandable.
So you're saying that on the low end, you are think that you're owed $150,000
U.S. currency.
Okay. And on the high end,
Yeah, I think I would be deeply satisfied and wouldn't feel that I was hurt at $750,000.
all right. So at all right. So let's say that together, that may be around $1.5 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Right.
that's what I wanted to know, because also there is a federal district court there. And if you're asking for, if you can prove and listen, I'm listening to you, and I won in federal court myself before. Okay, so let me just tell you, if you're able to justify, which from my perspective is very justifiable. Okay, so if your lease owed 75,000, you got a federal court case, and 150,000 between both of y'all is great. Up to $1 million, that's great. So now, that is a part of what I'm suggesting to you. I can't order you as a court to do that, but you may want to pray on it and meditate on that thing, because if we are able to assist you with putting together a federal lawsuit for that level of fraud and identity theft, don't you know the federal court will skip all the malarkey of the state court and the local courts and anybody homeboy network and good old boy networks and all of that. And you know, Somerset County zoning commission and all them heads is on the chopping block if you put a federal court case in, since there's so much nefarious activity, and every day you spend in jail is like a certain amount of money. So yeah, that's why I like your calculation too. I like both of your calculations. I really do, because your calculation is good, because you know, you're not the next of kin, but you're still was supremely injured. And he's the next of kin, and he spent 3 months. So I think both of y'all estimation is like so spot on, by the way. Yeah. You're like, look, they owe me 150 to 750. Pick a number, and you're like, they at least owe me $1 million. That's very reasonable. So just consider later on, and let us know if you would like us to advocate for you like that and help put together a federal case after you. And the feds and all of them, they like when you exhaust your own remedies. So they like it, that fact that inside your federal court claim that you have already put a FTC claim of 877 fraud 11 together, and you already call. I mean, that's the Office of Legislative Fraud Hotline, 877 fraud 11. But also they'll be happy to know that you made that Federal Trade Commission claim, 877 FTC help with that identity theft. So as much as you can do on your own, when you serve it up to the federal court, they're looking like, oh, this is good. We ain't got to do all this homework. What the other side got to say?
People understand. We go.
Attorneys and all that.
Okay, hear everything.
So we must help each other do these things. So if you just tuned in, this is our Chaplain's Court video affidavit intake for Brother Lonnie F. Burkes and Marcus Burkes, and their claim where there has been a lot of seemingly collusion and conspiracy, and to deprive them of their rights to life, liberty, and property in their family estate, as the agencies and actors in Princess Anne County, Somerset County, Princess Anne territory, has been colluding to imprison them, kidnap them, alien abduct them, and to run them off of their ancestral estate. And so we are happy to help them. To God be the glory, you know what I'm saying? And we are going to pray for you all, and we're making sure that we get with Brother Mark and all the other saints down there, that we're going to see we can mobilize to be able to support you. And we will strive to do some study grouping and some formatting offline off of court time, so that way we can get this prepared. Because Brother Marcus, once you really learn how to put together a federal case yourself, it's addictive. You'll be like, okay, you ready to box anybody's head off. So it's better
I
for
hate
us
to
to
say it.
teach.
I sued Walmart one time and won. I
All
sued
right.
MGM as a company in New Jersey. Did my own affidavits, and I was also hit by the sheriff's daughter up in New York. And my
MGM, you
letters.
mean the casino?
No, well, it was a real estate holding company.
Oh, okay, something different.
Yeah,
So yes, so we must do our civic study groups and do our
definitely.
continuing education, and we must teach each other how to fish instead of fishing for each other. So we're
Exactly. Yes,
gonna
sir.
advocate for you, but also we're gonna have our study group so that we, as individually as families, we begin to get bolstered up. And whether I'm short, you're long. Wherever you're short, I'm long. See, and so that's what we must do, and that's a big part of our advocacy here at the Chaplain's Court. So, that y'all have really taken me out today. I really appreciate all your information, Mr. Marcus Burkes, with you jumping in and really like giving a real clear picture of what your father, Lonnie F. Burkes, is like dealing with. And so,
Mhm.
honest to you for that, Lord have mercy. And so, we're going to write this up. And yes, this is a case down here by ruling that we are going to accept this case. This has
Thank
been our
you.
intake video affidavit. It is a good case for us to take, and it's right down of our so-called purview of scope of services. We're going to reach out to you later, and I'll check with you. Make sure you text me or call me or Mark in a few days. Let me know if you need
Okay.
more help with the report. But if you don't, because you pretty much seem like you got a lot, let us know once you make those 2 reports.
Yes.
Identity theft and deed fraud.
Yes.
Okay.
These
Yes.
are huge. Identity theft and deed fraud. Even if they just give you a confirmation number and it's not going anywhere right now, so what? You did a good job. You put the iron in the fire. Link back up with us so that we can assist you with the next level. And if you
Yeah.
actually say, yes, we want to do a federal case, we got the homework done. We put our fraud cases on and reports in, so that way we can help the federal court help you easier,
Yes.
more easier, more streamlined.
Yes, sir.
And that,
Thank you.
you know what I'm saying? And so God be the glory, and we're going to
And
rule on that. That's my ruling today. Dear Lord, we thank you today for bringing us Brother Burkes and his son Marcus Burkes. And you know what we are going through with this gentrification, Lord. And you know, oh Lord, that we have been suffering for this over 100 years or so, with these highways getting put through our communities, and with these people who don't love you, Lord. They actually seek to destroy your children and your saints. And we are imploring and begging you, oh Lord, that you crush them and you assist us with protecting ourselves and basically building up our legacy so that we prepare for your salvation and your coming. In Jesus' name, Emmanuel, amen.
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 Thank you.
Amen.
And
Amen.
I'd like to give you props and honors. That is my ruling. And I appreciate you all, and keep the faith. It is so ordered. I say, thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.